Welcome back to Content Monsters, and in today's episode we are reviewing Back in Action, which is released on Netflix recently. It's a spy flick so generic, even the actors look bored. Now I am a huge Cameron Diaz fan, so when I heard she was coming out of retirement after a decade, I was really thrilled to see her back on screen. Finally, the queen of early 2000s rom-coms and action flicks was back. But then Back in Action happened, and suddenly retirement didn't seem like such a bad idea. Yes, Diaz is back, pun absolutely intended, but unfortunately she picked a film that feels like it was written by an AI trained exclusively on rejected Mr. and Mrs. Smith knockoffs. So what's the plot, if you can call it that? Emily, Cameron Diaz, and Matt, Jamie Foxx, are ex-spies who left the thrilling world of espionage for the even more dangerous job of suburban parenting. Their angsty teenage daughter Alice, played by McKenna Roberts, sneaks out to clubs like she is auditioning for Euphoria, while their hyper-paranoid pre-teen son Leo, played by Rylan Jackson, treats his online security like he's the NSA. Now, naturally, the parents are nostalgic for their glory days of dodging bullets instead of suffering teenage tantrums. And just like that, their wish is granted. Enter the ex-boss Chuck, played by Kyle Chandler, who drops by with some casual life-ruining news. Their identities are compromised and the CIA is coming for them. What follows is an all too familiar, uninspired game of cat and mouse that makes Spy Kids look like Mission Impossible. So they drag their kids along on an international escape to the UK where, surprise, surprise, the children still find them so embarrassing. Now, because nothing screams cringe more than the parents who might actually get assassinated. But hey, at least the music hits its stride here with some amusing family dynamics amidst all this nonsense. Now, talking about the execution of the film or the lack thereof, you'd think a movie called Back in Action would actually, deliver some action. But the sequences here are about as exciting as an Excel spreadsheet. There are car chases, hand-to-hand combats, and stunts that were probably designed to be thrilling, but the execution is so uninspired that you're left wondering if the filmmakers themselves were as disinterested in making the film as the audience is now in watching it. Even the CGI-heavy, soulless backdrops make it painfully clear that Netflix probably spent more on marketing this film than actually making it. It's glossy, it's artificial, and has the heart of an algorithm-generated action flick, which, let's be real, it probably is. Now let's talk about the characters. All of them are walking, talking cliches. Every single character in Back in Action is a cookie-cutter stereotype. You know exactly who they are the moment they show up, and guess what? They never evolve beyond that. The strained parent-kid dynamic, check. The ex-boss who's secretly shady, check. The comically inept villainous henchman, check. Even the usually charming Diaz and Foxx can't do much with this limp script. They have moments of comedic timing for sure, but let's be honest, these are actors who deserve far, far better material. Meanwhile, Glenn Close is clearly having the time of her life as Diaz's badass mom, Ginny. If only the movie gave her more to do than be the only entertaining thing in sight. And then there's Andrew Scott, who shows up for a paycheck and leaves before you can get excited about his presence. So, is there anything good in the film? Well, to be fair, the movie almost finds its footing in the family dynamics. The best parts of Back in Action aren't the dull action sequences, but rather the miscommunication and tension between the kids and their parents. McKenna Roberts and Rylan Jackson actually try to inject some personality into the film, but just when you think the movie might pivot towards being something more heartfelt, it slaps you with another uninspired chase sequence, reminding you that the depth and character development are not on the agenda of the scriptwriter or the director at all. Well, so all it ends up being is a Netflix algorithm special. This film is the equivalent of those Netflix action movies that pop up, dominate the trending charts for 2 weeks, and then vanish into the void, only to be rediscovered by someone who clicks on it 6 months later thinking, wait, did I even watch this film? With a predictable plot, lifeless action, and characters that barely rise above cliche, Back in Action proves that just because something is on Netflix doesn't mean it's worth watching or remembering. So, what's the final verdict? Well, mine is a 4 on 10. Watch if you're a die-hard Cameron Diaz fan like me, unfortunately. Otherwise, just watch Night and Day or The Fall Guy instead. At least those movies know how to make action fun. And if you did suffer through this, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Unlike Back in Action, we won't let you down. See you soon.